I wanted to share something. This is one of my iris rhizome. My plant so this is rotting right here. You see where it's so smushy. So it's rotting, and as you can see that it has a bunch of increases. However, because of the area, see this one, it's rotting here too. I have to dig these rhizomes up as an emergency so I can cut out the rotting part and save the increases that is trying to grow. Basically, how I know is that the leaf, it's turning yellow and it has spots. Originally, I've cut out the leaf and I try to save it as much as I can. But then if I don't pull it out of the ground, see this leaf, it pops off right away, and then this one, it actually popped off the other leaf. Now these rhizomes, these has not flowers for me, but the condition that it was in, it could be overwatering, or it because I have mulch on top and I wasn't careful enough. So how I treat this is I'm cutting off the part. See, this one is smushy too. This one is smushy too. And this is about to go smush. I'm going to have to cut it off, and then I'm going to have to take it and cut off all of the infected part. And this one is coming off too. And then soak it into 1 part of bleach, 9 part of water to help save it. And as you can see here, this is getting infected, and there's a bloom still on it. So I can't dig it off yet, but I have a little bit of mulch here to conserve water. These are the coconut shells. These help retain water, so that way I can only water my irises, my flowers and plant one time, once a week or twice a week, because we're in a drought, and basically I want to make sure I save water. But as you can see, if I don't dig it up, the whole entire rhizome is going to rot out. And then it's gonna infect the other part too. So because this one is poorly rotted, I'm just gonna take it out as like that. And as you can see, there's a little bit of an increase here on the side, but it's badly damaged and it's completed rotting out. Now if I continue to leave it in the ground, it will eventually affect my other irises that I have in the iris bed. So as you can tell, growing irises, you will end up losing them due to rotting, overwatering, or due to whatever fungi or whatnot. But at the end of the day, see this one here, it's really bad, and as it's trying to come up with more increases. So this is I'm trying to save it, but I don't know if I could. But in the same flower bed that I have, I've dug up a whole bunch more that are infected with the fungi. Now this here, this rhizome here, I have to dug it up early because the problem I have is the fungi. But when I mail you these rhizomes, basically this one is the mother rhizome, and it has 2 increases. So if you put this, once I clean it up and make it look nice, when you get these rhizomes from me, please do put it into a pot and baby it. Do not put it into the sun. Like, do not put them in direct sunlight because it will kill the rhizome. And I felt very like not happy to having to send out these irises, but This is what is happening, and I want to be honest and truthful to you guys, those who did pay the $15 and is waiting for me to mail out the rhizome. I've been trying to soak and dig up irises and trying to save what I have, and I'm trying to send out the rhizome that are strong, that I know will live, and the one like this here, I'm not gonna send these one out because I am not going to see it infected so badly that just a tiny bit of the whole entire sap came off. That means that the plant is very damaged and is actually on the verge of dying. So that's the reason why it tried to have lots and lots of increases. But I do not want the virus or the fungi to affect my entire iris bed, so I am digging it out early just so I can save the rest of my rhizomes here. About half of my garden is infected, and I am trying to control it, but it's really difficult because I have a life to live, I have a job to go to, and I have a young son of which I'm trying to keep active and educate. So I cannot devote my entire livelihood to my garden, and things does happen in between, such as having to get a new job, taking tests, taking courses to better my personal life. And gardening is just a part of my hobby, which is consumed a lot of my time. And so with that being said, I have not yet been able to mail out the irises and the rhizome because I've been busy with my livelihood and trying to keep what I have alive. As you can see, there is a lot. My about town, it bloomed and it's struggling as well. So just give you a little bit of samples here. So how you know that you have fungi, all you have to do is slightly dig your soil, and you can see these right here. These are fungi, and it is affecting my irises, my rhizomes. So basically I'm gonna have to dig up this iris bed and try to save my irises that I have. As you can see, just a little example here, you just pull it out and the sap is already, even though the leaf is looking kind of healthy, but it's already damaged to the rhizome, and it's already damaged on the bottom. I don't know where I put my shovels at, but generally it's kind of hard for me to record with one hand and dig out the rhizome with the other as well. But that's how you can tell if your rhizome is gonna be affected, and you have to take measure to get rid of the fungi. The fungi goes deep underneath the soil. It's not just above the soil. It's all over the place. Once it's infected, it's gonna affect all of your other irises that you have in the bed here. And if you don't dig them out as soon as possible, it's gonna kill your rhizome. It actually is gonna cause rotting to the rhizomes, and your whole entire bed of iris is going to struggle to live. It will die. So all the money that you put into the iris, it's eventually is gonna be a waste. Now here I just dug up a mother rhizome. As you can see, this hard stalk here, but this one here, it's actually a increase. However, because the bed, my iris bed, is affected, so as if you take this, if you get this, if you take this and you plant it in a pot or somewhere, see, I just took off a little piece of rotting here, root rot. If you took this and put it in a pot, this little increase here will grow for you and it will bloom the following year. So even though this looks like it's a no good rhizome, but it actually still able to grow and maintain. And another thing is that you see a lot of dead roots here. There's not many roots left, young root left. This means that if I keep it in the ground and not digging it up, the fungi and the root rot is going to affect it. See, you can see that it's coming through all the way up into the health of your rhizomes. So this is very dangerous. If I don't soak it into, see, there's more. It's all over and I just can't seem to fan them at all. So if you just continue to just see how bad it is, the fungi. If you continue to just don't take care of it and dig it out, your rhizomes, it's gonna die. And here's another one. It just popped up just like that. The leaves look like it's still healthy, but it pops up just like that. And it affected your rhizomes so badly that at the end of the day, guess what's gonna end up happening? You won't have any flowers, and you will have a very weak rhizome, and the iris bed, it will infect the whole entire iris bed and all your other plants. So you can see all these fungi here. It's all over the place, and that's the reason why, look at all the leaves. It's sick. It's telling me that it's sick. And so I've dug a whole bunch of it up already. I just have to soak it in the solution, and I still have one bloom here. It's very beautiful, but at the end of the day, like I mentioned, growing irises, having garden is very difficult. It depends on how you are able to manage your time and how well you can take care of your flowers and plants. What I'm trying to do is I am trying to dig everything out, and hopefully I am going to send it to a few people to help with planting them. And I'm trying to save some of my iris that I have existing, so that way it does not spread throughout the entire iris bed that I have, because at the end of the day I work hard. See, it's all come to mush, and it doesn't have any increases. The rhizome is very little. It's as big as my thumb, and it's struggling to live, right? Like everything else in life, you have to take care of it. See this one, all this fuss right here, that is a dying. It's dying, and this one doesn't even have any increases. Well, I can call this one an increase, but this one is also struggling to live. So this whole entire iris bed, I'm gonna have to dig up, and I'm gonna have to revive it, and I'm gonna have to soak each individual rhizome, and I have to amend the soil. When amending the soil, you have to pour bleach into the existing soil. So once you pour bleach, the same solution, 9 water, 1 bleach, pour it in there, let it dry. Put chicken manure or steer manure into the soil, and make sure you rise the chicken manure and the steer manure at least 1 or 2 inches on top of the dead infected fungi soil. It's very fidgety because you have beautiful blooms, but if you don't know how to take care of it, you ain't gonna get any bloom. You're gonna have dying irises. On top of that, irises needs their own space. So I unfortunately have them growing very tightly together because I have very little land. And so some of them even, you know, they are in the ground, but they're very closely together, and perhaps that also causes them to not grow as much as well. So this one, these little rhizome here, I will keep and I will put it in a pot. I'm very good with having grown these little midget little you know, not so healthy rhizome and nurture it into a big rhizome and then let it live. But at the end of the day, this is what's happening to my irises, and it's a lot of work. It is a lot of work. So, and it's full of debris and whatever, because, you know, we got wind and stuff fly into the iris bed. But as you can see here, I have a bunch of irises that I dug out, and unfortunately I have to soak it in the solution, because if everything goes well then you wouldn't call it gardening, right? So sometimes gardening can take a lot of work and you need a lot of patience. With that being said, I appreciate your patience and take care. Bye. So once you dug up your irises and save them from the insanely torturous fungi soil, if you want to nurture them back to health, because some of these iris rhizomes are tiny, what I do is I stuck them in the pot, but when I stuck them in the pot, I make sure that they are underneath an area where there is little sunlight, not extreme sunlight, because you want to nurture these rhizomes back into health. You don't want them to you do not want them to actually die in your care, because these rhizomes are already weak. As you can see, I dug them up from a bunch of a lot of fungi infecting them, and so I am put them in a little pot and hopefully I can nurse them into health. Some of the earwig goes and cut off the top or the leafy part of the rhizome, so you have to be careful with earwigs as well. But I have a lot of tiny rhizomes here that I'm trying to revive, and I have this little thing here is called the not the monkey tail, but it's actually the rat tail that I'm trying to grow, and I just put them all in there. But this is what it looks like when I try to revive my iris rhizome from being infected with fungi to back into a healthy plant.